The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the view and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees.
What's Krackin Kitsap? I'm your host, Joseph Adams, aka Joe the Barber. Today we're sitting down for a conversation that matters to our city. My apologies, this is not the debate I promised. This is not a campaign ad. This is a chance to get to know the person that's asking to lead Bremerton. As close as I can get to talking to one of our new neighbors that's not so new. Joining me today is Jeff Coughlin, who some may know as a city council member, or through his work at the Kitsap Museum, or even as through work at NASA. Jeff, thanks for being here, my guy.
Good to see you, Joe. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, so man, how's it been?
It's been good.
Yeah. How's the family?
They're all good. They're all good. I miss my haircuts from you, though. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, I'm glad you're.
You know, the great thing is that you're still at the shop that I'm working with. So you know,
Yes.
with Shani, shout out to Shani. You know, she's doing a great job with you. You know, and I'm really happy to see the work there too. How's it been since Mom?
Been a rough year. Folks don't know my mom passed away in early July, and she was an awesome mom, right? She was a single working mom, raised my brother and I. Just really, really inspiring in so many ways. And it was a big loss for the family, but glad I got my brother's amazing. And one thing is it brought us even closer, and so I'm just glad to have him. And we're moving on.
You know, I agree, man. You know, I've definitely gone through my share of loss as well. My twin brother, and that is a huge thing that people need, is that connection and having family to be there to, even if it's not family, someone that is there to help you,
Totally.
you know, get through tough times. Actually, a friend of mine just got done putting a post up talking about they had lost their lover a few years back. And she was talking about how it's like wearing a boulder on the back, and sometimes people you see it and they'll think, oh, they're great, and you never really know, you know. But having family and people there is an amazing thing, you know.
Absolutely.
But here, man, I want you to tell them who you are, because you know this is my audience, but some of them may not know who the hell you are, man. So,
well, I know it's your first show, right? So I'll open with a really big, groundbreaking confession. You ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm a huge nerd, Joe.
No.
I know you didn't know that, right? I know that's groundbreaking to you, but folks who don't know, I got a PhD in astronomy. Loved school, loved space. I felt like that was my calling at the time.
I love that.
And right, oh my God, you know, I just fell in love with it from an early age.
Yeah.
And like every nerd's dream come true, I got to go work for NASA. Yeah. So after I finished my degree, worked for a mission called Kepler.
Yeah.
And that was a telescope, kind of like, you know, folks know Hubble. It was one size of Hubble in space, but it was dedicated to finding planets around other stars.
Dude, that is really cool. I mean, look, for you guys that may not know what the Kepler mission was, I'm going to tell you, that was I was around for that, to see that happen. And when it launched, it was groundbreaking for science. You know, what exactly on that mission were you more instrumental in?
I was worked in the science office, so that meant that other folks did the amazing job of building the spacecraft, launching it, operating it, getting the data. Yeah. And so once we had the data on the ground, I helped process it and worked on the algorithms that detected planets. So, you know, the really cool thing about it is it was the first telescope that could detect a planet like Earth around a star like the sun. Yeah. And to do that, you had to stare at one spot in the sky for years without blinking, right?
Talk about cataracts.
Right? Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. And if you're a planet like Earth and you're going around a star like the sun, you got to wait for once a year. Once a year, you're going to hope that planet passes right in front as you see it from Earth. Yeah. And when that happens, for about 12 hours out of that year, the light's going to dim by a crazy small amount, like 20 parts in a million. And so that's what Kepler did, is it stared for 4 years at one patch of the sky, and it was sensitive enough to see that planet pass in front 3 or 4 times. Man, and so I worked on the algorithms to find thousands of planets.
That is awesome, dude. So if I'm correct, I'm seeing this, like, if I remember, like, I love watching Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He's like, he is this, if y'all don't know, that's this age.
So approachable.
Bill Nye the Science Guy for my age at that time, okay? Like, he is amazing at as an astrophysicist, well-renowned and known. And he says it's like looking at like a blip, like a pin needle in front of this. Am I correct?
Yeah, it'd be like having a giant, one of those giant movie spotlights for a movie premiere.
Yeah.
And being able to detect like a single mosquito flying in front of it, right? And the light dims by that tiny, tiny amount. Yeah.
That is so cool, man. So were there any other things that you happened to notice out in the great beyond and that were maybe, because there are people that are asking about UFOs, and maybe you've seen one or
the
two.
show's going that direction, huh? Okay. Yeah. No, it was, oh my God, besides planets, there were so many neat discoveries that were made with that telescope, right? Unique star systems, configurations, a famous star that at first looked like really unusual signatures that people went, wow, is this signs of an alien civilization? And we later found out that we think we probably happened to catch a once in a lifetime moment of two planets colliding. And that created so much gas and dust and collision that it blocked out the light from that star in really unique ways. And we just got lucky to catch it. So yeah, lots of cool discoveries out of that.
That's like a once in
in my life.
lifetime.
It really was. Yeah.
To see it,
yeah.
I'm right?
Yep.
Like very small chance of catching something like that, especially with the Kepler. Because it's not like the James Webb, if I'm right.
Right, very, very different missions. Kepler was a survey mission. So I was very on the statistics side. We found about 50% of stars like the sun probably have a planet the size of Earth at the right distance to have liquid water. Jeez. And so the next step is going with James Webb and the next generation to try and find some planets like Earth that are close to us.
Yeah, so I can go get me my beach set.
That's right.
I'm looking to build my beach house on another planet, just so you guys know. But okay, so you also said we also went into the Kitsap Historic Museum as well. What brought you into there?
Yeah, so while I was at NASA, my joke is I found I actually liked people and projects even more than planets. So while I was there, I was living in Bremerton, so I got to work remotely for most of my NASA career. Flew down to California quite often, but lived up here. And I took night classes at University of Washington, so used our ferry system to get over there and became a certified project manager. Jeez. And then for my last 5 years at NASA, I was the director. So I led our science office, and that meant being in charge of all the discoveries and documentation and working with groups around the country to make sure that not only were we putting out our discoveries as a team, but enabling other folks to make discoveries as well. Essentially, as that mission was winding down, my husband and I were adopting. We knew that our child Max was on the way in December of 2020. And it was during that summer while I was president on the board for the museum that our current director needed to move out of state, right? Oh. Middle of COVID, everyone's lives.
Oh yeah, COVID was trash.
Just chaos. And so it was at that point I said, hey, I got some bandwidth. I'm ramping down my NASA career. I'm working on turning the lights off on Kepler. I can step in as director. And so, I feel like I blinked and now over 5 years have gone by. But man, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I can talk more about the museum. It's a fantastic place.
Please do. I mean, honestly, I'll give you a little bit of a surprise. I just took my first tour of the Kitsap History Museum.
Awesome.
Yes,
Good.
It was really cool, man. Honestly, I was actually quite surprised to see that there was a section for hair.
Yeah,
I was so pumped.
Yeah, I got the old curlers, you got the advertisements, right?
The old school perm rods.
There you go.
Me and my lady, we had went through there, and she loved the fire station exhibit.
Oh yes. Yep.
She was just like, oh my God, I love this. I just love this. And I'm like, it's just a fire hose, dude.
It's history. It's Bremerton history. Yeah.
Then we went to the hunting section, and I was like, musket. And so she was like, it's just a musket. So we had our own little excitements of each side there. Of course, I love the hair section, and I have some things I honestly am planning on giving them because I have some of the old school clippers.
Oh, that'd be great.
We used to use, and a pair of shears that were they're thinning shears that are from like 1917 or something like that.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Love to get that in the collection. Yeah. No, and it's what I love about the museum, right? So I joined the board 2018. I was working on, I had a 1918 house. It was a 100-year anniversary. Yeah. I had done a bunch of research into the house. I got together with neighbors and the museum. We had a 100-year celebration. Awesome. Josh Farley even hosted one of his walking tours. And that's how I got involved in the museum. And what I loved about it is here's an institution that had been around for 75 years in the county. And you got to learn so much about the history of the county and of the Bremerton. And the more I learned about the history of Bremerton, the more I felt tied and connected here. And I think everybody too. And I've known so many people now who move here recently, and they're checking out what's local to see. So they come in the museum and they tour all the exhibits. They see the historic Main Street. They see the timeline from geologic to present day in World War II. They see all the indigenous artifacts and cultural exhibits, right? And learning about just the ups and downs of Bremerton. Yeah. And they walk out and they're like, oh, wow, I feel so much more connected to this place and this community. And that's what I love most about that place.
Yeah, dude, I ain't gonna lie. I'm born and raised here. As I tell people, I'm a native. So native born. So it was just like, I even felt more connected to seeing just like, oh my gosh, this actually was in Bremerton. Oh wow, this was in Bremerton. And this was a part of that. What? It was seeing the market section, there were parts on their timeline that they had, and there was this cat that they talk about. I remember that cat. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy to see. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I didn't get to see the Navy Museum yet. They're closed, and I went there.
Yeah.
But
no, we're always
one of these days,
folks too. Yeah, we got some gems here in town.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
And just to say, like, what I loved about working with the museum is, like any organization over time, right? It has its ups and downs, and people come and go. And so I felt like I caught it at kind of one of these moments, and was able to, by volunteering, help the museum save some money. Really upgraded it from kind of the 90s, all the files were on one hard drive and a computer in the back room. So it's like got us on modern software, modern accounting. Really were able to recruit a bunch of awesome new board members. We got some talented staff. We're now in
and the staff is awesome.
Oh my God. So those folks work so hard and are never paid enough in that field.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I feel like we're really in a good trajectory, financially stable. And so I just recently kind of put myself out of that volunteer position by Lisa Hope is the new executive director. Really excited. She's going to be fantastic. And so it's kind of it's my philosophy too, right? It's come in, right the ship, leave it better than you found it, and make sure you set things up for success, that it's going to continue to thrive without you, right?
Yeah.
Hand that baton to the next person and make sure that organization is going to succeed.
That's literally what I'm working on doing with my barber shop in Seattle. I'm building it. I just opened it up on last month in the beginning, and working to get it going so it can be passed on to the next of the youth, as I do also education with the youth. So to get that education to them and to get them ready in the level of success, so they can do something like, hey, now you're running my shop and I'm just able to retire. Because Jeff, I'm gonna tell you, man, my knees, man, my knees.
You're getting close to 40, man. I tell you, I just hit it. Doesn't get better.
Oh, no, it don't. I say we don't get old, we get seasoned.
That's right.
We just get more seasoned.
Right.
But the season is catching up to my knees. A little too much salt, I guess. Okay, so then you also are the on the council as well. So which district?
So I'm District 3, and Bremerton has geographical-based districts. Not every city does. But so District 3 is downtown, Manette, and Evergreen Park area.
Okay, I was just about to ask, which does that cover? So downtown, Manette, and the Evergreen Park area. That is really cool. Yeah. Okay, so what are some of the things that you've done so far that since you've been in, that's a change in there?
Oh, right. And it's, you probably name a part of the city or a policy, and we've worked on it the past 4 years. So everything from transportation projects to making it easier to get around town, to creating places that people want to go, like redoing 11th Street in Manette, and Quincy Square, obviously recently downtown, projects on public safety and homelessness, working on small businesses, making it easier for folks who are renting to have resources if they have a bad landlord. We've really tried to tackle everything over the past 4 years.
That sounds like a lot, dude. Like a lot to even take on and to wear on the crown there. Because as they say, heavy weighs the head. Because dude, I don't know if I could actually handle doing all that. Before I said, you know what, y'all can walk for all I
What I love about it, right, from the nerd science side, is there is no end to learning. It is endless, and it's great. And I love that about it because you are always trying to look to see what other cities are doing, what's been successful, what hasn't worked. Rarely the challenges that we face are challenges that no one else is facing, right? Very few is unique to our city compared to others. And so it's just a great learning opportunity and working with folks and being able to invent something new, right?
Yeah.
And also being able to say, you know what, maybe here we find a solution to something that no one else has found yet. And then they're going to be referencing us in the future on, hey, look what Bremerton did. Let's copy that because it'll work in our city.
Ooh, man, I like that. What are some things that you ended up that you seen in another city while council member, and you were like, man, that was cool, and we got to try that here, you know?
One thing that hasn't been implemented yet, but I've brought forward the suggestion, is Vancouver has this great program, and I'm thinking of you, right? Small business owner.
Yes.
You started out, you had a shop downtown for several years that again I miss going to.
Yeah.
And how difficult it is. Right? I know. Oh, we'll get you back. We're getting you back. But yeah, so it's not easy, right? And what's seen sometimes is someone wants to open a small business and they're looking at a space to lease from a building owner. And there's a lot of unknowns and uncertainties. So what Vancouver did is they had this program where every Friday morning, they made sure that the calendars of code officer, building inspector, fire marshal, every folk in the city who is going to be involved in helping a small business start, right? And they make sure that they meet with the potential new business owner and the building owner. And so they say, hey, you want to start a small business? Before you sign a lease, right? We'll meet with you for free. And so they meet all at the location. They go through the entire building.
Wow.
They go through the business plan. And, sometimes it's like, oh, you wanted to open a chicken factory. Well, that's not allowed downtown. Okay, good thing you didn't sign a lease yet, right? Okay, that's, sorry, no dice. But, most of the time it's things like, maybe there is some small thing of, and I've run into this, right?
Yeah.
There's a old garage shop in Manette. Well, you can't open a garage there anymore. It's been that way for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And so that's an example of somebody might have thought they could open an automotive shop, but they couldn't, right? And so you want to catch that early before a lease is signed.
Yeah.
Or it may be, oh gosh, before you open, this space has been vacant for a long time. It needs to be brought up to code in the following ways. And that may be 50 grand. That may be a really large number. And so before you sign a lease, work out with the building owner of what they're going to pay, what you're going to pay.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is to make sure there's no surprises. And they said, man, since they started that program, they have just, it has helped them on the city side to do things, right the first time.
Yeah.
It's cut down on staff time because there's no surprises, and the small businesses have really benefited from it.
Yeah.
So smart things like that would be pretty awesome to have.
That is amazing. Like, honestly, I can tell you, one of the reasons I had left and moved my shop to Seattle is because when I went into the building, that I did not know there was so much that I needed to get done in there. Took up the flooring, seeing cracks in the foundation, leaks that were coming from, I'm like, what in the, had I had something like that in the beginning to be able to say, hey, you know what? Well, we've got all of us together sitting down. We're not going to just be taking this, for no half of a coin here. You're going to be able to tell me what's going on, and they're looking at it, and they'll help me know what to look at, because that was my first brick and mortar ever, and that kind of assistance would really help a lot, for sure.
And I've met with a number of business owners now. I met with one just the other week who is trying to fix up an existing what was a restaurant that had closed and trying to reopen it as a cafe, and 2.5 years of back and forth on permitting, and a lot of it was some changing requirements. Oh, wait, here's one more thing. Oh, you're approved. Wait, oh, you're not actually approved. And this Vancouver program tries to eliminate all that because it says from the beginning, when we got everyone on site, by the end of the day, here's your checklist, right? It may be A to Z, it may be 26, items that has to be done, but at least all right, if I do A to Z and all 26 of these items, good to go.
Yeah.
No back and forth, no wait one more thing. And that streamlining is so important to making sure you have a city that is welcoming for small business.
Yeah. See, my next adventure I'm thinking of, and I'll say it out. Screw it, whatever. I want to do a hookah lounge out here.
Ooh, yeah.
I know that the military loves it. It's a great relaxation, and I'd have it probably something that's like not so much exactly only tobacco, of course. There'd be non-tobacco choices to help. And again, I'm all about I'm all about the cleanliness in life. So I wonder what kind of zoning, or where should I go looking for something like that, if you have an idea?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a zoning map for the city, so you can go and kind of click around and see how different areas are zoned. Definitely would want to reach out to the Department of Community Development and ask them if you got a location in mind, right?
Yeah.
And that no, it's fantastic, right? I think we need to open up as much as possible for businesses that make sense in the right areas.
Yeah.
We make it easy for folks to open cool new businesses like that, right? Especially stuff that people want to walk down to and enjoy, and it gets people out and about and downtown and other commercial areas.
Hey, man. Okay, Jeff, we have been having a good time here, man. Okay. And we have actually, my producer is telling me we run out of time here. Okay.
What? Us two get talking? Man.
I know, man. Good. Do you mind staying around for part 2?
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Perfect. Be right back.